How's it going, guys? This video is going to be about my post-fight thoughts on the fight that took place over the weekend between Dereck Chisora and Joseph Parker. This was a very competitive fight. I've been seeing a lot of people online saying that Dereck Chisora was robbed and he deserved to get the decision. In my opinion, Joseph Parker did enough to win the fight. Now, I know I picked him in the pre-fight video and I had money on him, but I scored the fight. I've watched it back again since watching it live over the weekend, so I've just watched it back again and I rescored the fight. When I was watching it live, I felt like Joseph Parker did enough to get the decision, but I knew it was obviously very close and there were a lot of rounds that could be hard to score and stuff like that. So I've watched it back today and I scored the fight round by round. At the end of the fight, my scorecard is 8-4 to Joseph Parker. Now, there were some close swing rounds and stuff like that. But yeah, so I had the fight 115-112. So 8 rounds to 4 with 110-8 round for Dereck Chisora in the first round. Now, Joseph Parker, in my opinion, he has almost like a bad habit, or it's a bit of a negative to him as a boxer. He seems to be a little bit too relaxed in the ring, and he got caught cold. He got caught, napping a little bit in the first 10 seconds or 5 seconds of the fight. Pretty much with the first punch of the fight, Chisora hit him with a overhand right towards the back of the head, just above the ear. It was a pretty good shot, and it dropped Joseph Parker. Now, he wasn't too hurt from it, but like I say, he was caught off guard, a little bit too relaxed in there, in my opinion. But overall, I thought Joseph Parker, he did what we thought he was going to do. He was going to box on the back foot, because Dereck Chisora, as he always does, is going to come forwards and be hyper aggressive, swinging big wide shots, hooks, overhand rights and stuff like that. He's a pretty predictable fighter, but he's still a hard guy to deal with because he's so durable and tough. He's got one of the best chins in boxing, and credit to Chisora. I mean, he's 37 years old, but every time he fights, he leaves it all in the ring, and he comes out and he leaves it all in the ring. And he did once again over the weekend. But like I said, I thought Joseph Parker did enough to win the fight. He boxed on the back foot pretty well. He used the jab pretty well. I think he could have used the jab a bit more earlier in the fight, and I think that would have helped control Chisora a bit more. But, in the first 4 rounds, Chisora was... he was a bit of a handful, when his gas tank was still full. But after that, he started to fatigue, and Parker started to take over the fight. Boxing well behind the jab, started to land some hard, straight right hands. He used the check hook well as well. The check left hook he was using well in the fight, almost like we saw Fury do in the Chisora rematch. Hitting him with a lot of short check left hooks and stuff like that. Parker boxed well on the back foot, but I would have liked to see him do a bit more, to be honest. I'm not that impressed, although he did do what I thought he was going to do, but I thought he would do a bit more, but maybe with a bit more time with Andy Lee, because they only had about 6 weeks together. Maybe, he'll still be able to make more improvements, and, I'd like to see Joseph Parker be a little bit more aggressive. I think he could have, once Chisora started to fatigue, I think he could have put his foot on the gas, and not been... like I say, he's very relaxed and laid back, and then I'd like to see him be a little bit more aggressive and, get a little bit more spiteful, because he has, like I say, he has power, but at this top level, it hasn't been the same, hasn't been knocking these guys out. And there was a couple times in the fight where he hurt Chisora, and he possibly could have got a stoppage because Chisora was tired as well, but Joseph Parker, like I say, he was happy to just sit back and try and, box to a decision. I'd have liked to have seen him take Chisora out. Chisora's, he's up there in age, although he still seems to be almost as good as he was in his prime. Now, he's not quite as good as he was in his prime, obviously, but, he's having some of the best moments of his career, late in his career, with his, since joining up with David Haye, and now he's got Buddy McGirt as well. But ever since he's joined up with David Haye, he's been a lot more dedicated to boxing, and he's been, working a lot harder, and it shows a bit. But I still would have liked to see Joseph Parker be a bit more aggressive in the and try and stop Chisora, because I think he had a couple opportunities to stop Chisora. But I mean, there were a lot of good things Parker did in the, like even when he would tie up Chisora, because he was tying up Chisora a lot on the inside. When Chisora got close, he was smothering him and tying him up, and then he'd walk him back, which was a nice tactic, almost like David Haye did to Chisora back in the day. The smaller man, or the not as stocky man, walking back Chisora in the clinch to the ropes, killing his momentum. Also, not letting him work on the inside and buying himself some time. So that was obviously something I saw that Parker was utilizing a lot in there on the weekend. But Parker can fight on the inside. He can do it all. He's got really fast hands. He was landing obviously the much more eye-catching, cleaner shots, straighter shots, the straighter, cleaner shots. I'd like to see him use the right uppercut a bit more on the inside. I think that was there for him, and he did use it, but I think he could have used it more. And I don't think he had to tie up Chisora as much as he did, because on the inside I feel like he could have, with the shorter, faster hands, I think he could have, did a bit more damage on the inside to Chisora. Because Chisora is very predictable. You know what he's going to do. He's going to throw that overhand right, and he's going to throw a wide left hook afterwards. So, I mean, I'd like to see Parker maybe utilize a bit of the Philly shell on the inside, put a shoulder up on Chisora, and start, landing those vicious right uppercuts on Chisora, catching and shooting, blocking that left hook and countering with the right uppercut inside Chisora's wide shots, obviously slipping under the overhand right, because it's very predictable what Chisora is going to do on the inside. So, I don't think he needed to tie Chisora up quite as much as he did. I'd have liked to have seen him, like I say, work a bit more on the inside with Chisora. But, he played it safe, and, he did enough to get the decision, in my opinion. So I think he definitely did deserve the decision, in my opinion. I do not think it was a robbery. Like I say, I had it 8-4 for Parker. With the knockdown in the first round, that makes it 115-112. My bad. Yeah, 115-112 for Joseph Parker. So overall, I thought it was a solid performance from Parker. Would have liked to seen him be a bit more aggressive and do a bit more, but maybe in his next fight with more time under Andy Lee, we'll see a little bit more aggression from Joseph Parker and a little bit more urgency in the. Anyways, that's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, guys, what were your thoughts on the fight? Did you think Parker did enough to get the decision? Let me know in the comment section below. Also, let me know who you want to see Parker fight next, as well as who you want to see Chisora fight next. Chisora, being up there in age, still looks like he has quite a lot left in his career. He can give a lot of guys, problems in the heavyweight division. I'd like to see him, maybe in there against a Hughie Fury, on the British scene, or maybe even maybe I was going to say a Filip Hrgović, but Filip Hrgović is already, supposed to be fighting Michael Hunter and what's a title eliminator. So yeah, let me know who you guys want to see both Joseph Parker and Dereck Chisora fight next. Let me know who you guys think won the fight. Thanks for listening. Talk to you guys again soon. Cheers.